We talk about being generous for the right reasons. Giving not to look good or do our duty or earn our generosity points for the week, but from a place of humility. We know that we shouldn't count how much we're giving away or let our left hand know what our right hand is doing. We should give in secret with no hope of any earthly reward. But that's hard. Generosity costs us, that's the point. We find ourselves making a show of what we give, or giving begrudgingly, or just giving up on generosity altogether. How do we resolve this? How can we begin to be radically generous without seeking our own glory? I think we find it difficult because we misunderstand something about God's character. We think giving is supposed to be difficult and painful, and that God asks us to give without any reward at all. We are well aware that God commands us to be generous. What we miss is God's promise of abundant generosity to us. Test me in this, says the Lord Almighty, and see if I will not throw open the floodgates of heaven and pour out so much blessing that you will not have room to store it. We don't do this alone. God does command generosity, but it comes with a promise that we will be blessed immeasurably with God's abundant generosity. This doesn't mean that for every pound we give away, God will give us two back. What it does mean is that we can trust God to give us what we need when we need it. Sometimes this will be with material things, but often the spiritual blessings we receive are so much greater. We don't really need as much money or stuff as we have. What we do need is more of God's Spirit. God changes us. He gives us the supernatural ability to take the lower place. He will surround us with people to support and love us, and ultimately, He rewards us in the life to come when there is no pain or suffering, and we can be with Him forever. Maybe it's time we re-evaluated our understanding of God. He is a God of generosity. That is why He calls us to be generous. But that also means that He is generous to us, far more than we could ever be. He's not half-hearted in His generosity, but wants to throw open the floodgates of heaven and utterly overwhelm us with His blessing. When we understand this, it changes how we approach our giving. We're not supposed to silently suffer, but receive God's abundant blessing. Let's test God in this and see if we find ourselves reaping far more than we sow. It will take courage and faith, but God promises that it will be worth it.